Hey guys, so it's Sunday night. This is kind of unusual for me for this channel, but I want to take you through something that happened in my life. We went to church this morning and I was kind of reflecting. And as you saw in my first video, if you haven't watched it, go back and watch it and kind of learn my whole story. But I was a Bitcoin millionaire, early investor since 2017. And due to greed and some poor decisions, I lost everything. And when I mean everything, every single penny. Um, to go from seeing $1 million in your account to nothing, really puts you through some trial and tribulation and, wondering if you're going to be on the street or not and how things are going to work out. And so, anyways, when all that happened, I wasn't really close with God. And, religion was something that I had when I was in, elementary school, growing up Catholic. It's not a personal relationship with God. It's, doctrine and preaching to you, kind of old style, outdated stuff. So when all that happened to me and I kind of came to my end and found God and I asked him, what do I do next? Like this is I thought this was it. I thought I was going to retire. I thought I was going to be done working for the rest of my life. And now this happened due to my own ignorance and greed. And what do I do now? And the strangest thing happened because a friend of mine from high school who I had kind of seen in the background, like I'd see her reels and see her stuff here and there, and I kind of ignored it. But she was a Forex trader, and I didn't know what that was. I didn't know anything about it. And when all this happened, I started looking more into that. And I'm like, well, what is this? How is she, doing all this and doesn't have to, you know, um, have a day job? And, I had already known about macroeconomics and financial markets because that's, what I learned and how I got into Bitcoin. But at the same time, I didn't know enough as far as, what the market was going to do next. It was all just hopium and, the price is going to go to $1 million, et cetera. So when I found that, um, she was really helpful and she really guided me, through the baby steps. I wanted to get in right away and I'm like, let me throw my money in. I got it. I know what I'm doing. I've done something like this before. And she really stopped me and she told me, go through the baby pips course. And it's funny because when I first went through the baby pips course, I thought that that was the hardest part I was going to have to do. And I thought that that was the longest I was going to have to study. And, if you're starting out and you go through it and it's, like a few days straight of like 10 hours a day going through and taking notes, you'll come to realize that that was like 0.1% of the journey in the end. So when I started trading and I started doing that, I had enough money saved where I hadn't, my wife made a good decision to have me sell some of it, and I hadn't lost everything yet. I had enough basically to live off of for a year. And so, in my, still arrogant phase, I believe that I can learn how to be a trader. It's not that hard, whatever, in 8 months. I had 8 months until our lease was up. And, I had to either, be a successful trader and win it all back, that mentality, or nothing. So there was no other option for me. And so I spent that 8 months studying, every single day, 11 hours a day, 7 days a week, like I'm going to be a trader, I'm going to be a trader, I'm going to be a trader. And I had some good trades at first where I'd see profits and stuff, but I had no emotional management. And my psychology was horrible. And I would close positions as soon as they'd get into profit, and I'd, just take losses fully. So I was basically making nothing, and my accounts were drawing down and such. Um, I've said this in other videos, but the point being is that you know, um, when it came to the end of that 8 months and my time was up, and I had not become a successful trader, even in all my arrogance, I thought it would be, and I thought God had put that in front of me, and it was my time, and now I was gonna, be a successful trader, and this was it, and whatever. And I came to realize that, you know, why I asked God, I'm like, why would you show me this if this wasn't the answer? Like I trusted you and this is the end, and now I'm here and we have nothing, and I don't know what we're going to do tomorrow. And, over the next year after that, I really got humbled and I really learned, my arrogance and my greed is my own downfall. And so during that time, I really took the extra step and I learned, after wanting to give up, I still learned how to trade. and I'd do it in the background, like I've said before, working, 6 hours a day, 10, 11 hours a day. I'd still learn, and I'd still, develop systems that worked and work on my psychology. And, finally I started seeing a little bit of success. Like finally, like 8 months into that following year, I started seeing a little success. And, I had a small account. And instead of hemorrhaging money, it was starting to like compound little bits of money. And so, um, at the towards the end of last year, that has started to grow where it was enough that I could quit my job and I could move my family back out to where we were before. And, we have a house now and we're doing well for ourselves. And, I kind of was reflecting today because I remember that moment where I was sitting there and I was like, why would you show me this if, this wasn't going to work? And I was I was so, dumbfounded. And I think the thing you have to realize, the thing I realized is that, if God calls you to do something and shows you something and just lays it in your lap, like when that happened and I had nothing and that like trading just was like delivered into my lap. Like this is the answer to everything. And like to me, that was a divine moment because there was no reason that, a coincidence like that should happen, that I should find that because I knew nothing of it. Like I knew absolutely nothing about it. Um, and so, today I was reflecting on, now that this is all working and, I'm profitable and I'm taking payouts and I'm making money and, we've got a successful business. And I was just thankful today because, it's like when I was in that place where I didn't know what tomorrow was, I had to trust God. And, looking back, that was the best thing I could have done because now by trusting Him, I, am able to not work and I'm able just to be a day trader and I'm able to support our family doing that and make money and be happy and have time with my kids and stuff like that. So I don't know what the point of this is, but the point was that just, if you're going through struggle, a lot of you actually have reached out to me on Instagram. I didn't know there was that many Christians in the group. And even if you're not Christian, in Islam, same God, same person talking to you, same basic belief system. If you listen to God and you put your trust in Him fully, He will deliver no matter what. And it'll surprise you and it will shock you in the end. And I know it's not the end. This is just a journey. This is a season like everything else is in life. But I just wanted to kind of, be thankful today because, without putting my faith in Him, I wouldn't be here today. And, um, if you are going through something similar and you're going through, a struggle and you don't know where the answers is or God has called you to do something and you're not sure why, just have faith because you don't know it says it in the Bible a million times, but you don't know the answer. Like Job asked God, why am I here? Like, what is the purpose of my life? And God showed him, the secrets to the universe and told him, were you there when I laid the foundations of the earth? Like, were you there when I created you? Like, how could you know the grand plan of things in the end? Like, I'm the Alpha and the Omega. I know everything. And so I think, once if you can take that to heart and you can realize that and you can live your life like that every day, not knowing what tomorrow brings, but knowing that God's going to take care of you and He has a plan for you and a purpose for you, even if you don't know what it is, and even if you feel like you've been abandoned, He does. And it's funny because you're angry at first when you don't know what's going to happen, but then when you see the plan unravel, it's such a beautiful moment because in the end you're like, oh yeah, you were right. Like everything I said and everything I said in anger and how mad and frustrated I was, you were doing the best thing for me the whole time. So I just want to take that moment to share that with you guys. Um, I'm not sure where you are. A lot of you have reached out to me about, your spiritual journeys, but I just want to kind of leave that message for you, and I hope you have a nice Sunday.